right, so it's time for our Unrivaled segment guest anchor with the lovely Hellen Mtawali. You look really nice.
Really?
You know, you have to teach me that whole African vibe.
Yes.
I think I'd like to have that one day on the show.
Come for lessons, I'll give you.
You'll give me lessons.
Yes.
First of all, first things first. You know, everyone on Twitter is saying we want to hear her sing.
Woo.
So drop a. Okay, I'll try drop a beat.
Okay.
You drop a song.
Okay.
Just
Okay.
something, yeah.
Okay. That's an instrument.
Okay.
Here are my hands. You can use them, Lord, so that I may bring glory to your name. This is my head, and inside is my mind. Use it, oh God, to bring glory to your name. Here are my hands and feet. You can use them, Lord. Let me not fight, but let me love somebody.
I like that. Let me not fight, let me love somebody.
Yes.
So Hellen, talk to us.
Yeah.
First of all, about Afrizo, because Afrizo is a movement, I was in Daystar, and Afrizo, they bring the house down, and of course you are the pioneer. Talk to us about Afrizo.
Yes, in 2017, that's next year?
That's next year.
Yeah, we're hoping and planning to do another trip. This is going to be like our 5th trip to the US.
Wow, okay.
And usually I use this group to come up with funds and resources to help students who are not able to pay school fees at Daystar University.
Okay.
I am a beneficiary because when I joined Daystar University, my father and mother was not able to pay school fees. So I only paid for my first semester. Then the rest was paid by Daystar for both my first degree and second degree. So my way of giving back to Daystar was to start Afrizo.
Wow.
So when I started Afrizo, that way I'm able to feel fulfilled because somebody else is able to study through my gifting, through the songwriting that God has given me the ability to do. I can be able to mobilize others, and we are able to help somebody who can be able to achieve higher education. Yes.
Wow.
So 2017, we are out for another trip.
Out for another trip.
Yes, we've done 5 trips, 2007, 2009, 2011, 2014. And now this is going to be our 5th one.
All right. Let's talk about music, because everything about you is music. Even when you ask anybody about Hellen Mtawali, okay, the judge, the singer. Talk to us about your passion for music and how far it has taken you.
I think my mother says that I used to beatbox inside her stomach.
Oh,
No,
really?
I'm kidding. Yeah. But I love music. I think my mother says that I loved it right from when I was, a toddler. And we used to sing. My father used to be a choir director.
Right.
And my mom used to sing in the choir. So I think that's where I developed this ear and taste for music. And as I grew at home in our house, everybody would sing. But who was the leader? We're 6 children.
Yes.
Oh, now my brother, I lost a brother some time ago, but we used to sing for anybody who'd come, and that orientation gave me a passion and a love for music.
All right.
So music has taken me very, very far.
All right.
I used to be to suffer, what is it called, inferiority complex?
Really?
Because of my eyes, yes.
How come? Your eyes are gorgeous, first of all.
People would not believe that I can see, They'd be like, unaniona, unaniona,
Yeah.
And kids used to laugh at me, etc. So that gave me a very high sense of inferiority complex. But as I grew up at Daystar, that's when I met Dr. Roberta King, who told me, do you know we buy these eyes in the supermarket? I was like, oh, So immediately it was like a switch turned on.
Right.
And I started appreciating myself, and that is how now music came out.
Wow.
Because now as I was able to look at people direct, use eye contact, then my gifting for music just opened up. So I've done anything in music, like teaching music.
Yes.
I started learning how to sing well professionally at Daystar University. And that was actually what catapulted my gifting. So in terms of music performance, in terms of teaching, in terms of inspiring, motivational speaking, I do anything around music.
Right.
Yes.
And it's interesting that you mentioned that you suffered inferiority complex.
Yes.
And, being the person you are now, it's really hard to reconcile you as Hellen Mtawali now.
I know.
And of course, that little girl who was,
I used to walk like this.
self-esteem.
In fact, this part was dark. because I used to walk like this. And guess who would backbite me? Luos. Oh, mera dongi neno kaka wang neko no dongo, you know. And they wouldn't know. Can you see the way that lady has green and big eyes, you know?
All right.
But apparently, anyway, I somehow now I was able to overcome that.
All right.
And yeah, today I do many things, courtesy of what music has been able to, you know, leverage me too. So
all right.
yeah.
Of course, that thing you know, we were talking even before the show, and I asked you, so are you wearing contact lenses? Because when you go on Google, one of the questions that
Hellen
people ask,
Mtawali eyes.
I'm sure you've seen
Yes,
that. Hellen
I've seen
Mtawali
that.
eyes.
Yes.
So you know, talk to us about that. They're real and they're not contact lenses, because there's
Ladies
always
and-
too many questions about that.
Come on, go zoom
Come
in.
closer.
My eyes are real. My father has them, and my late grandmom used to have them. They say if I give birth to a baby boy, I don't know whether that's going to happen.
Why?
It's going to have them. Omera, don't get there. But anyway, yeah, I'm told that if I give birth to a baby boy, he's going to have it. It moves from gene X to gene Y to like that. It transfers like that.
Wow.
So my late grandmom had them to my dad, and now to me, hopefully to a baby boy.
All right.
Yeah. But
So-
unfortunately, I think I stopped it there. So
No. Of course, we'll talk
maybe
about
somewhere
that.
along
Any hopes of, you know, you getting that baby boy?
Hey, oh man, yeah, yo, woo, woo. I used when I gave birth to my baby, I said, "Ni me amuwa, sitarudia tena, hata
Why is that?
munidanganye."
Why then? You said that's
no.
enough.
No, well, technically, I've got complexes, and I think I'm satisfied.
You're satisfied?
Yes.
All
where I
right.
am.
Okay.
Yes.
So let's go back to music.
Yes,
Let's go
to
back to
music,
music.
yes.
And obviously, you know, I like that you know, you're sharing your life, and we're seeing, you know, we're talking about a
Yes.
different side of Hellen Mtawali that
Yes.
many people do not know about.
Yes.
So talk to us, and of course, the young girls and young, you know, men who are watching, and they think, you know, they have certain insecurities about
Yes.
who they are, what they are, how they look like,
Yes.
you know, that keeps them away from getting to where they should be.
Yes. Like I said, music is actually what helped me open up
Right.
from my little cocoon. So after this lady told me that my eyes were one of the things that people would always look forward for, I started thinking positive. All the things that were hidden in me, now music started bringing them out.
All right.
I usually give a whole talk about how music makes you a genius, opens up different disciplines
But
within
what if
you.
you're not into music? What if you're into something else?
It doesn't really matter. Everybody, if you can talk, you can sing.
Really?
And the
But
minute
not
you
sing
start
so
singing,
well.
it doesn't. I don't think you really have to really
Yeah.
impress that
Yeah.
way. But as long as music becomes part of your lifestyle, there's something it just pops up. It helps you appreciate yourself. And if you do it for stage, that means you start learning how to communicate. Start learning how to stand in front of people and not be ashamed.
Right.
That way you start appreciating who you are.
Okay.
That way you also start thinking positively, because if everybody just gives compliments, like for me, what helped me is everybody was telling me, your eyes, oh my gosh, what? Your
Yes.
voice.
Yes.
So when they give me these positive things, now I start looking for ways in which I can actually motivate myself
Yourself.
to be able to bring all these things
All right.
totally out to the person who listens to me.
All right.
And then eventually, when you now become an icon, you also want to live right. There are many things that come around it.
I
So
like
you
that.
find many people looking to you
Right.
and hoping that their lives will change from your advice. And you don't want to advise somebody and you're suffering. So you also, if you're suffering, look for ways in which you don't suffer, so that when they come to you, they find solutions,
Yes,
not
they don't
problems.
find more
Yeah, so
problems.
that way,
All right.
I say it opens up a lot of things within you.
All right.
That will also, if you think of it positively, it makes you become a better person.
All right.
Yes.
Obviously, one of the things about you, Hellen, is that, you know, is that giving back. And, you know,
Yes.
we've seen you mentor young
Yes.
upcoming artists.
Yes.
Talk to us about where you think right now, you know, looking at, you know, our gospel artists,
Yes.
our secular artists.
Yes.
Talk to us about where you think we are as in regards to professional music or singing or practice when it comes to, you know, that particular art. Where are we?
Can I start with
Are
what
we
I'm trying
still
to
at
do for my
Kapuka?
people?
Uh-huh.
I come from the UK. You know what the UK means, United Kisumu. Right now, I'm the president of
You are?
Lugomufo Sacco.
What is president of what?
Lugomufo Sacco.
Okay.
I don't want to define that, but it's for my people, among gospel musicians who come from the UK, United Kisumu, and one way I
really
use
emphasizing
music.
that one.
Yes,
Okay.
because this is, I've seen my people suffer. You're a musician, people can't remember you for what you are because probably you're lacking when you're about, you're growing old and you have nothing.
Yes, yes.
Why should that be? Yet
Okay.
they celebrated you at some point. So one of the things is to make sure that I can provide education for them, for them to see the necessity for doing that art professionally.
Right.
Go to school, man. You are a musician, yes, we celebrate you know how to write,
So
but
even
then
if I can sing, I still need to go to school?
of course, yes.
Okay.
Education is basic. You must get that basic education to know how to communicate, how to. Suppose you have your music, you've written your music,
Right.
and now you're going to die. How did you go through that? Somebody wants to know.
Right.
If you have helped somebody else become the person, the better person, through writing, through singing, through whatever means, education will help you know how to
Right.
package that.
All right.
And that's what I'm doing for my people.
Okay.
And that's one way.
Okay.
The other way is development. If people can just not sing for the sake of singing, see how well that music can help you develop and eradicate poverty, then you're my future,
Okay.
you know? And then also to see how musicians who we celebrate today, sometimes are not remembered because of the little things that they miss out on. If they go for workshops, you're bettering yourself. If a musician can go out there and teach or impart whatever you have to somebody else, you're bettering that person. So using music to communicate, using music to help us become good social beings, but also using music to see how we can develop
All right.
both physically, politically, you know, in all
Everywhere,
aspects.
on all aspects.
Economically.
All right.